Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. It's been a while. I have actually just have not been motivated at all to do anything after Spooktober. I've done a few discussions with friends, but I haven't really done many of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. I will say I have been rewatching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 over and over again. I will not give any indication of what my thoughts are on that movie because it is one that I went in blind on. I'd never seen it before, so I'm really excited to get into that. But I'm going to kind of do this video here just to maybe motivate myself to get back into uploading because I just after Spooktober, if you haven't heard, I watched 91 movies last month during October. And for the last 15 days or so, I've uploaded maybe 3 videos, maybe 4. And even 2 of those, I think were going to happen no matter what. That is, of course, the Oathbringer discussion. And then me and Cult Flicks Fix hanging out. But today I wanted to do a video kind of documenting my top 10 Vinegar Syndrome 2022 releases. And these are not in any order yet, because some of them I've gone through all the special features on, some of them I haven't, some of them I just did not care for the movie and did not look at the special features. Some of them I am very dead set on my opinion of, in a very positive way, of course, my favorite releases. But I tried to not list it, but order it somewhat in order of what you will probably see when the subscription is done and I've reviewed everything. I really want to do kind of special videos once the subscription has been finished. I want to do my favorite box sets, ranking all the box sets more like, because there weren't many this year. And then, if I can, I want to do a ranking of every release this year. So I'm going to have to take them all off the shelf and order them and figure out what I would list them as. That would be an interesting video. I was thinking about that on the way to work, or on the way home from work, before I hopped on here. But without further ado, I'm just going to go through kind of really basic info. Go check out my review if you want to know more. But for the most part, I will give no spoilers. I will kind of just talk about each one pretty basically. Again, this is just a preliminary top 10. So, without further ado, let's get on. This first one, both of these movies are just okay, but as a package together, they're a really great double feature, which is how I watch them. And for another double feature in this top 10 is exactly the same way, where both movies are just okay, but together they're really great. Some really good special features from what I remember, although I can't really speak to anything specific. Now I'm talking about, of course, the double feature featuring Hard Rock Zombies and Slaughterhouse Rock. Slaughterhouse Rock was what I loved. Hard Rock Zombies, I love the idea of, but I got kind of sick of its music video focused format, or at least structure, of the movie. It was kind of grating on me, although I really loved it in the first half. And I remember Hitler at some point shows up, and that's really bizarre, which this entire movie is, so that's okay. But Slaughterhouse Rock is so much fun. It's all about a group of teens having to go save somebody in a prison island, and they keep seeing spirits of rockers, and they're like playing heavy metal, and they're telling them like, hey, come over here, you know, trying to entice them so that they can become a spirit, basically. And the entire movie is nonsensical, both of them are. But I think as a double feature, it's just a whole lot of fun. This is one that I want to revisit before doing the big kind of tier list, I guess, for all of these releases. So that is my, I guess, number 10 choice. Hard Rock Zombies and Slaughterhouse Rock. Pretty good. That was one thing I was kind of thinking of when I was doing the kind of getting ready for this, because there are not. Once I chose my for sure, these are in my top 10, I only had like 5 in the stack, and one of which was a box set, which I knew was going to be one of my favorites. But there aren't many good releases, or at least ones for me that I personally love that a lot of people already do not love. And there was one especially, which I'm gonna wait to include on the official top 10, but that was kind of interesting to just see that. Because I try to choose movies or releases that not everyone got. And there are 2 releases, I think, maybe 3 in the stack that I think everyone knows would be in the top 10, and everyone else will put it in the top 10. But this next one are 2 Spanish westerns. And these are ones that I watched back to back. Watched all the special features, so I can speak to that. And this is a really great package if you don't really know much about these movies or these directors. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Hot Snake and Guns and Guts, directed by the amazing Rene Cardona Jr. I've seen the light. I finished Volume 1 from last year of his films. And although the first one was really bad and I did not like it at all, the second and third ones were my jam. I really enjoyed it. But these 2 films in particular, you can just turn your brain off and have fun. And there's a lot of fun to be had with these movies. Hot Snake is amazing. I really enjoyed it. I love the imagery throughout the movie. And I talked about this in my review, but there's a great scene of a guy on a horse and an eclipse happens. And oh my god, it is so good. The special features for both of these films are really great too, especially the one with Rene Cardona III, the son of the director. And he talks about his father's entire career up to this point. And that really helped me to kind of get the context of what Rene Cardona, or who Rene Cardona was. And my god, it is pretty good. I actually rewatched this movie for my birthday weekend. It wasn't part of my birthday marathon that I did on, October 1st. But I did watch this, I guess, the night before October or Spooktober began. And it wasn't as enjoyable as my first watch, Guns and Guts at least was. Hot Snake I think I'll still like, but as a package, this is a really great release because you get a lot of informative special features. You get 2 pretty good movies, 1 great movie, and plus, for those who like shelf decoration, you have an awesome orange and kind of reddish slipcover, which Vinegar Syndrome does not do often. There's one other movie with a red slipcover in this stack, and there aren't really many else. No, there's like 3 others on my shelf, so that would be my number 9, I guess, even though I'm not really ranking these. I'll just put these over here, get it somewhat in view. This next one is another double feature. Vinegar Syndrome really came out the door with a lot of double features for the yearly package. And one of these I love because it really feels like The Toxic Avenger, which is a trauma film, of course, directed by Lloyd Kaufman. And the other one is really good, but it's definitely a slow burn. And I'm talking about the double feature that includes Horror High and Stanley. this is actually an earlier year release, so I don't really remember everything with this, but Horror High is a whole lot of fun. It feels just like the Toxic Avenger would be a great double feature with that. But Stanley is one that has some really great snake kills, some great locations, but it's really slow, is sort of what I remember not liking about it. And I can't remember if I went through the special features or not. I think I did for Horror High, but you'll have to rewatch that video because personally, I have no recollection of watching any interviews of this, although I have a feeling that I did. Um, so I would recommend going and watch that video and see for sure because this is a great little package. Both of these movies are really great. Stanley, again, is a little slow, but if you can get past that, you'll have a really great double feature for you to watch. And I recall that there were a lot of interviews on this release. And there was something. Oh, William Greffe. Okay, so he was on this. He did, I guess, Stanley. And I think there was a box set of all his films done by Arrow. He Came from the Swamp, I think, is what the box set is called, which I still don't have. I've been going back and forth on getting it, and I keep not getting it because I hear that the movies are so terrible. But Stanley actually is a good little movie. I think I did watch the documentary on this. They made a new documentary for Stanley, and I recall it was pretty good. I need to rewatch these movies on this release, but this is a safe shot in my opinion. A lot of people who I know also really enjoyed these two films. Horror High, of course, is my number one of these two. So that is that double feature. This next one is one that I did not watch any special features on, but the movie was so awesome that I just immediately knew this would be in my top 10. This is actually one of the first ones I grabbed from the shelf. And it's a gothic giallo film filmed in, I think, North Carolina, where I am from. I'm trying to see any name or any location. I do not see it, but it stars the amazing Jennifer Jason Leigh. This is Sister Sister. This is honestly one of the best movies. Excuse me, I was having a hiccup. This is one of the best movies that Vinegar Syndrome has released, in my opinion. I wouldn't say, because I haven't seen the special features, but I wouldn't say that this is the best release of the year, because I don't think it is. The other ones I'm going to show have a lot of documentaries, a lot of interviews. I think there's a commentary track, a few interviews, and maybe a documentary. I don't see the documentary, but I highly, highly recommend this one. This is a really great atmospheric movie. Watch it when it's cold outside, when it's rainy. Turn the lights low. Maybe if you are able to and you don't have fire alarms, light a candle, because most of the movie is lit by candles, and this movie is just so atmospheric, so well done, great vibes all the way through from the beginning to the end. The ending is a little weird, I do remember, but I think everything else is just so good that it doesn't matter. This is Sister Sister, directed by Bill Cordone, I believe. Bill Condon. I think I said that name on. Same right. Whatever. This next one is one that will probably be my number one, but I also threw in a couple others. But this is one that was highly anticipated. I think everybody got it. I think it's sold out now. And it has only a standard edition now. But this is one that I have seen many times preparing for the review. I think I saw it 4 times before I finally reviewed this release. There's a really great documentary on this. There's a really great commentary track on this. There's a really great interview on this with the director, YK Kim. And if you don't know already, this is Miami Connection. Obviously, this was going to be in my top 10 because the Blu ray has been out of print for many years now. It was like $60 with about the same special features, but for this release, they made a new documentary made this year that they got all of the stars and they interviewed them. It wasn't the full hour or hour and a half like in the Beastmaster documentary, but it was still so good. Uh, Obviously, the movie is amazing and I love it, but what I was looking for was getting the behind the scenes details. Why was this movie made? Why were these actors chosen? Because they aren't the best actors, but that's totally fine because there's definitely a sense of community and family throughout this entire movie. And when you watch the interviews and the documentary that kind of explore that, you see it was a community and a family that was making this film. And this release, if I had just gotten the older Blu ray, I would not have learned any of that. And this one, I was so happy that they released this. I think this is definitely worth the $40 or whatever the MSRP was. But obviously, you can get it cheaper, and it's good because I would pay any price for this. But I have it now, so I don't have to pay for it again. But that is Miami Connection. This is so fucking good. Really great film school in a box. You really get to learn everything there is about this movie and the people involved. And plus you get 2, maybe 3 different cuts of the movie. Because there's the original one that everybody loves. There's the second cut, which I believe they changed the ending just slightly. And then there's a third cut that was the original work print cut. Kind of like the Criterion Collections edition of Night of the Living Dead, where they package in Night of Anubis, which is kind of the work print kind of first draft of the movie. But the original cut is, of course, the best one. There's a reason why it became a cult film, just a cult film, why it attained that status of a really good cult film. Because there's so much heart in the movie. Great music, great fight scenes, great soundtrack, everything. And so I would highly recommend Miami Connection. This next one, I don't think I went into the behind the scenes of, but both of these movies were really well done, especially the second one. The main attraction, I guess we will call it, because these double features, at least aside from the one I'll show here shortly, it always feels as if they got the license for one of these movies that they really wanted to get, such as I guess Horror High was kind of the main one. And then Slaughterhouse Rock or whatever. And for this one, it definitely feels as if the first movie was the main attraction that they wanted. And then the other one they just kind of threw in, which I ended up liking more. And I'm talking about, of course, Schizoid. And also X-Ray, starring Bobby Benton. I loved X-Ray. This one was really good. Really great atmosphere. A lot of sleaze. Obviously, there's a barely dressed woman about to be punched in the face, looks like. He's not holding a knife, but this movie was so good. I really enjoyed it. And Schizoid, obviously Klaus Kinski is in this film. He's great in it, but my issue is that this movie kind of pitters around for a lot of its runtime. And I don't even remember all that much that happened in this movie, so this is another release that I need to rewatch before doing the tier list or whatever, the ranking. So both of these movies, though, when watched together, like I did for the double feature for the video, it's really good. It was a very fun double feature. They worked together really well. Obviously, We have two killers that are kind of in positions that one would normally think of safety in relation to, such as being a doctor. And then Klaus Kinski plays a psychiatrist, if I remember right. And I remember being kind of blown away by X-Ray because everyone loves Schizoid. It's a great movie. I do agree with that. But X-Ray is what I really, really enjoyed. Bobby Benton is an actress who I wish she was in more films. She's in a lot of crap, like I guess soft core porn films, but X-Ray is really the only one where she gets to show off her acting. And I recall saying that her acting kind of impressed me while I was watching it. But if you want to know more, go watch the review again for any of these because those are fresh off a most recent rewatch. So I'm just going off of memory here. So, and again, MGM title. This is like the year of MGM for Vinegar Syndrome. They had so many titles that they released from the studio. So that is Schizoid and X-Ray. This next one is one that I don't think I need to talk really any length about because everybody already owns it. Everyone loves this. This was probably the biggest release for this year, in my opinion. And we are talking about, of course, Dead Heat. I love this movie. I think I watched like one interview on this, but oh my god, this is so good. I ended up watching this movie twice. I think in 2 days. I watched it, went home, watched it with my dad, and we both loved it. And I think it's the main two cast members here who keep the momentum going from beginning to end. This movie does not stop. There are some really great horror sequences in this movie, especially the slaughter room. For those who have seen the movie know what I'm talking about. The slaughterhouse room scene is so disgusting, so well done. I love the effects of it, even though you can kind of tell that it's very cheap. I just loved this movie. And this is one where I do want to go back and watch all the special features on. Because I don't really know anything about the behind the scenes. But there's a lot of new interviews on this. And this is another 4K release that looked really good on 4K. Because I have a 4K player at home at my parents' house. But God, this movie was just so much fun. I highly recommend this release too. So, the next one is one that not many people liked. And this is why I really wanted to save it towards the end. And this is one where everybody was warning everybody before it came out, saying, oh, watch out, these movies suck. They don't make sense. But I loved both of these movies. One, definitely a million times better than the other, but they're both amazing. And these are the Jess Franco films. Two Undercover Angels and Kiss Me Monster. Kiss Me Monster is absolutely nonsense the entire time. Has great atmosphere, great kills, everything. But the story is so nonsensical that you just kind of have to turn your brain off while you watch it. But Two Undercover Angels I legitimately love. And I highly recommend watching all of the special features because they got Stephen Thrower, the expert on basically everything film. Every time he pops up on a Blu-ray, I am so happy because that means I'm about to get basically a film school lecture from somebody where I'm going to learn everything there is to know, and the world will be more understandable in my perspective after watching him talk. That's that kind of special features that I love. And this release has it. You get, I think, about 30 minutes given for both of these films by Stephen Thrower. actually is 46 minutes total, just from him. And then we have archival interviews with Jess Franco talking about both of these films and talking about the behind the scenes for them. This is a film school in a box right here. And this is one that nobody is giving any chances towards. There were people in the Discord who, I love the Discord a lot, but it was kind of upsetting to watch people get this package and then sell it without even opening it or watching it, because I think the slipcover may have gone out of print, or the rating for it to go out of print before selling it for double the price that they paid. But this is such a great kind of package from Vinegar Syndrome. This is probably one of my favorites of this year, because I came away with just such a deep appreciation for Jess Franco and for cinema in general. And it's just really sucks to see people not give his films a chance, because this year has sort of been the year of Jess Franco for me, or at least intro to Jess Franco if I was still in school. But God, more people need to watch these films. I really, really enjoyed these. You can probably see my a lot more enthusiastic talking about these films on the actual review, because I watched them both. I spent an entire day, I think, watching both of the films, watching through the special features, and I'm not sure if I rewatched the movies after that, after getting the context, but I definitely want to rewatch these before continuing on with Jess Franco, because Severin is about to have a big sale next week, I guess, for Black Friday, and they have released a lot of Jess Franco films, and I only own Vampiros Lesbos, and that movie, from what I remember, was pretty awful, very slow, but that was when I first even discovered Severin, back in like 2017, maybe 2018. And I just remember I just was totally out of my depth. There was so many layers to Jess Franco and his career. And to start in the 80s of Jess Franco, I just finished up basically the 1960s era with the two really great films, Dr. Orloff and Diabolical Dr. Z. And after watching those, I felt like I had the groundwork settled for his next section of films. And maybe I'm going on too long about Jess Franco, but I fucking love him. I see the light now. I've become a Francophile, as some people joke in the community. But I really can't wait to go into that sale and just pick up as many Jess Franco films as I can. I have a few DVD only Jess Francos that I got during the DVD sale, but they have a lot of films by him. I wish they would do a box set of his films, but I don't think that'll happen for a very long time because of licensing issues and whatever else. But the final kind of single film release that I'm going to highly recommend for this top 10 is one that a lot of people were a little hesitant on, because 88 Films did a release of this. And I'm not talking about The Iceman Kampf, which is actually one of my least favorite releases this year. I am talking about, of course, Corey Yun's, I don't even know what to call it, masterpiece, I guess, starring Cynthia Rothrock, Righting Wrongs. I love this movie. I watched it over and over and over again for that review. I went through the booklet, which, again, this is a film school in a box. You get 50-page or so essay, not essay, but a booklet of essays all about the movie. And then you get 2 different cuts of the movie, maybe 3. You get many new interviews. They have a new interview with Cynthia Rothrock, which, again, she's great. I highly recommend any interview with her, but this one especially, you get so much context to this movie. Not only in the context of Righting Wrongs, you get the context for Corey Yun, the director and also action choreographer. You get context into the Hong Kong action cinema of the 1980s and into the 90s. You get context on the little theater troupe that, God, Yuan Bu and Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung and all them were all a part of. You get so much context in this. And every time I watch this movie, after going through the special features or an interview or even a commentary track and then rewatching it after that, I felt like I got so much more from the movie every time I watched just a sliver of special features or even read the booklet. I watched this. This was another Miami Connection situation where I watched this 4 or 5 times in preparation for the review. And I loved this movie. I actually rewatched it recently because I just wanted to watch it again. And it's still good. I still love it. Cynthia Rothrock, this is probably the only Vinegar Syndrome release that stars her, where she's actually given the time that she needs to do the action very well. There's a really great behind the scenes where she talks about getting ready for this movie, because this was one of her first movies that she did, and it is so good. It's also really fun to hear her talk about her first time in China and in Hong Kong, where she meets everybody and she has no idea how to communicate with them because she doesn't know Chinese, or at least didn't know when she first moved there, and said just how weird it was to compared to America after doing the Tiger Claws trilogy, which I don't recommend anybody watch. After writing Wong, she went on to do this, where in the U.S. they were like, "Oh, we're not going to actually impact you," and in Hong Kong cinema, they punch you in the fucking face. That's basically how they make it, how they make the action so good, is that they make it real. Everybody's getting hit in the face full force. That's why Jackie Chan always looks awful by the end of every movie that he's in, because he's actually getting kicked in the face, kicked in the ribs. Cynthia Rothrock, I think, broke a leg at one point or an ankle, and she had to film the movie with the giant boot on, and they colored in the boot to make it look like it was part of her outfit. And it's not really that noticeable, because I didn't notice it until she pointed it out. But the commentary track for this movie too, with oh my god, with Mike Lito and somebody else. I'm sorry for forgetting the name, but those two are so much fun together on the audio commentary. I listened to Drunken Master, which was an 88 Films release, or Eureka. I think it is Eureka. And they're both on there too for the commentary track, and oh my god, they are so knowledgeable. I assume they have a cheat sheet for them to work off of while doing the commentary track, but it just really felt so insightful, so informative. Every commentary track with them is a film school in a box sort of way. And this movie especially, they really set the context for this movie and for Cynthia Rothrock's career. Excuse me. And her oh my god, excuse me. And her career as a whole, leading up to this and then after. So, this is the last single release I'll recommend. I now want to kind of talk about my favorite box set of this year. And this is, I think, the first box set that they did for this year. And this is the Forgotten Jolly Volume 4. Not Volume 5. Volume 5 was just okay. But Volume 4, two of these movies I loved. Loved. And then one of them I didn't really care for. The Killer's Still Among Us. But Arabella, Black Angel is basically a softcore giallo film with really bizarre storylines, villains, everything. And Sister of Ursula That was the best one. That one, I think I even watched the special features on it. That movie is highly awesome. It's really fucking good. And the killer in that movie has the most badass costume that I've ever seen, aside from Corruption of Chris Miller, probably. And in this box set, all three of these films go together quite well. Two of them are basically soft core films. I think there's even a lesbian romance in Sister of Ursula. But in Arabella Black Angel, it's all about a woman going to sort of a brothel and killing people there. And it's really good. Both of those films are so fucking good. And the special features, I think I saw all of them except for The Killer is Still Among Us. That movie just did not catch my attention. So I skipped on the special features for that. But the other two movies were just so good. I highly recommend that box set. That's probably my favorite box set of this year so far. Not to give spoilers for my rankings, but it was just so much fun to watch that. I think I watched them all in one day. So that's probably why I was kind of sick of Giallo films and with The Killer is Still Among Us, because I watched them all so fast. But yeah, so that is kind of my ranking for not my ranking, but sort of a quick top 10 Vinegar Syndrome releases for this year. It's really been a great year. I'm still debating on if I want to do the next year's subscription. If you have any sort of thoughts on that or opinions, please let me know. If you want me to do it, definitely let me know, because I need to know that the time and effort that I'm putting into these videos are going to good use and helping people, and also expanding people's horizons and the cinema journey, as Dice K would say. So that is all for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I feel a little more motivated now to do more videos, so I hope to see you guys soon.